In this video, I'm going to show you how I repaired the sink drain in my bathroom. Initially, I was confused about what was happening here. I come home, I look down under the sink, and I see this gap between the two metal pieces. Come to find out, this is a common problem, and it's an easy fix with the right tools. All right, so the first thing we've got to do is we've got to remove the drain where the stopper goes. We've got to remove it from the sink bowl, and this is a lot easier than it is in my particular situation. See, these metal fittings here, they've got threads on there with the metal nut, and over time these things have completely locked down, and I got very lucky. I was using a pipe wrench and I believe a pair of vice grips to remove this, and it actually just pulled through the sink, the bottom of the sink basin. It was just by coincidence. This thing's just rusted out so bad there was nothing holding it into the sink anymore. So you see there's a large nut, and then above that is a washer, rubber washer type material that it makes the seal at the bottom of the sink. I was able to pull that through, and you can see just how corroded and nasty this thing is. It was long overdue for a replacement, and you can see me removing all the sludge out of the sink, the bottom portion of the sink basin where there's kind of like this dead space down there, so a little void cavity. It's just absolutely nasty when you think about what goes down the drain in the sink. So that's how we were able to get that stuff out. Okay, on to better things. This is a little PSA announcement here. Do not use this particular item. This is the Glacier Bay 2-piece sink drain repair kit. This thing is absolute garbage. The pieces do not work well together. They are very outside of the norm, the way they're built. I just didn't have good luck with it. I put it in, had some leaks, decided to take it back out. The leak was coming from the ball valve actuator where it actuates the stopper. It just would not seal up. So I took it back out, went back down to Home Depot, got the correct piece, the more common piece, and it worked out awesome. Here we're going to take some plumber's putty. We're going to get a little amount here, and we're going to form it into a nice roll that we're going to put around the lip of the drain that screws in on top of the drain there. Get some here. Roll it out. Nice. Get a nice thick roll of that material. And then we're going to take and we're going to lay that roll around the edge of the threaded trim ring that goes inside the drain. We're just going to lay down a nice thick bead of plumber's putty. This is key. We're going to want to get some good squeeze out when we tighten this down so we got a good seal. Then we're just going to insert the tailpiece into the bottom of the sink, and we're going to screw on the trim ring that goes inside the bowl here, and you start to see the putty starts to push out. And now we're just going to go ahead and tighten down that tailpiece using the adjusting nut there on the bottom. Be really careful. The new piece that we bought is an ABS plastic, so it's a little bit more, it's not metal. It looks like metal. It's just more of a chrome decorative piece. So we're going to tighten that down. We're not going to want to get it overly tight. Again, this is a chrome looking plastic piece, so over tightening would damage the threads. But we're going to get it pretty tight here. We're going to make sure we got it snug against the bottom of that bowl. Seat that rubber gasket really well using a pair of channel lock pliers here. Adjust the location of that drain. Make sure your ball valve location, your stopper valve ball, is facing towards the back of the sink. And then once we've got that in position, we can start putting the rest of the sink back together. We're going to put our P-trap back in with the seals and the nuts. At this time, you can go ahead and tighten all this stuff down. There's no reason to leave anything loose fitted right now. We've got it pretty much in position. We just want to make sure everything's got a good, nice seal on it for our next steps. All right, so go ahead, now that we've got that tightened up, go back up in the basin and go ahead and remove that excess plumber's putty around the trim ring. We're going to dress that up nice and neat. Use the plumber's putty to pick up any extra beads of the putty that you can't get to, and you'll notice it leaves a nice little seal around the trim ring and the basin of the sink. Now just drop your stopper in with the hole facing towards the back of the sink, and then we'll go back down underneath the sink and we'll start to install the stopper valve arm, actuator arm. So make sure here, you want to make sure that you've got your seals. There should be an inside seal that goes inside the valve. I'm reaching there now, pulling it out so you can see that. And there should be a seal inside the actual cap, so it seals both sides of the ball valve. So we'll just put that back in there, and then we'll go ahead and set our stopper actuator arm with the ball valve on there. Now you may have to work around a few things inside the sink just to get, make sure you have room, but it's fairly easy and straightforward from here. You want to make sure that you actually get into the back of the stopper there, that little actuator arm. So make sure you move it up and down a couple of times to make sure you've got that actually in the right place. And once all that's said and done, you tighten down that ball valve, get it nice and snug, but so that it still operates. Make sure that it still operates. And then you'll start to adjust your actual drain stopper arm tightness and location. I always set mine at the lowest most hole in the actuator arm, and then you just take the metal spring clip and put on the back of it. Be real careful here. You can cut yourself on that metal. It's got a little sharp edge right there. So just put that on there, and then you're good to go. And the next thing we got to do is we got to test. We've got to test this sink. We want to put enough water down the drain with the drain open first, checking for leaks. Going, making sure you're not getting anything. If you're starting to see leaks right now with the water going through there freely, you would have major issues. And then once you're pretty well certain that there's no leaks anywhere in any of the joints that you have, go ahead and pull your drain, stopper your sink, fill it full of water, relatively full of water, and then once you get a nice, pretty good fill of water, release it. And all that pressure coming down will show you any leaks. And initially I had a little bit of a leak at the valve at the top, or excuse me, at the black seal at the basin, but just took a little bit more tightening of the adjusting nut there, and it tightened it back down and it made it perfect. And there you have it. That is how you fix a broken drain pipe under your sink. It's the broken tailpiece. What we had here was the one piece or two piece metal tailpiece. It rusted after 30, 40 years, almost 40 years of service. The threads had completely rusted. We took those out, replaced it twice. We replaced it with a bad part. We ended up going back to the store and getting a new part, but we replaced it. That's how you do it. If you got any questions, leave them down in the comments. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.